All right, morning guys, it's Saturday, so come along with me. Let's go make some feed. I'll show you guys that process on how we make our TMR ration for our cattle. We just got a little mini TMR mixer in the skid steer, so come along with me. We'll make some feed and get these cattle fed, and then Joe will likely be down and we'll probably get started at cleaning them out. It is currently snowing / freezing rain, so not great weather to be working outside, and it's kind of wild that by Monday it's going to be -20. So anyways, come along guys, let's get at it. All right, so the first step of making feed is figuring out where all the pieces of equipment are. We use our mixer tractor to run the auger, so we've been shipping corn out this week. So we use our little mixer tractor to run the auger. It actually works pretty slick. Load a truck in not that much time. So we only got 8-inch unloads. So anyways, yeah. So get this PTO shaft off. Get this PTO shaft off. Oh. Last time they did this, it was froze on, but so the only downside of leaving that out is there's a bit of freezing rain today. I think starts and runs actually pretty good. We picked that up at Hyde Brothers. Came with a blade on it, which we don't use because it's either on the mixer, and we got the skid steer that's got a cab. But I gotta try and find something to sit on so my butt doesn't get wet. But anyways, imagine the mixer's out back. We'll go get hooked onto the mixer and then go get the skid steer and get a bucket load of corn silage. Honda engines always need a bit of choke. Fire's right up. We'll do the hydraulic hoses. That's so the door seals. Turn on my scale. Zero it it probably won't stay zeroed. And turn it so I can see it. So there's about, I believe there's 20 in there. So we need 500 pounds of corn silage, and then we're finishing up the old bag and starting a new one. So we've been gradually switching them over because of different years, different quality and moisture. So anyways, let's go get the skid steer. This skid steer is great, but it sucks on the snow. I need different tracks. Or 415, 420, so we need about 60 more pounds. I'm a little over, but oh, almost into it. A little over, but that should be fine. Now I'll mix in some straw, some oat straw. Oh, we need about 50 pounds of that. And essentially what that oat straw does is give them some fiber, or some, what us farmers call roughage. So anyways, this is what it is. These bales, we had them tarped and then the tarp blew away on us, and well, doesn't seem to affect the feed quality on it, and they seem to not back off on it. So anyways, let's throw some of that in. We'll get the mixer going and we're getting that mixing up and cutting, and then we'll start adding corn. So we're mixing the corn in. As that mixes, I'll keep track of the weight. So we grind it with that mixer that's attached to the 12 that you guys saw in part 1 of the barn demo. And so now we're mixing in about 360 pounds of corn, or 18 pounds per head. The new corn silage we got has a lot more grain in it, so we got to back off our ground corn. So it was at 560. At 360, I need to shut it off at 920. So we got it mixing there. It's in our feed bin here. And I got the switch. So anyways, I'll shut this off at 920. And then we'll go over to the distiller, start mixing that in. And then we'll put our premix in. We'll let it mix for 5-10 minutes total, and then we'll go feed the cattle. I don't have a fancy switch at this bin. We just would unplug and plug it in. And we had technical difficulties with the wire that goes across to that. And so in the meantime, we like to get our steps in, and we just run an extension cord over. So there you go. I think I need to flip on that switch. I think. Oh, there it's going now. So we'll watch our distillers come in. So we need about 140. So there they are. They're 60. 70. And we use pelleted. It's a little extra cost, but for the little bit that we go through currently right now, it's just a lot easier with the pellets. So there's 110. So I better be on it. There's 120. There's 140. Anyways, watch that mix. I'll speed it up so we get a little more turnover and get those mixed in. That's the nice part about a TMR ration. Every bite's the same and it's hard for them to sort. And then that way everybody gets roughly the same mix and growth is more uniform. So now I just got to mix in their premix. The whole premix is like having Flintstones or a multivitamin. And then we mix in some baking soda as well. And that helps with, you know, indigestion. So we'll let that all mix in. And let that mix for about 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 10. Let it all mix up and then we'll go feed them. All right, that's how we feed them. I would love one with a cab. I know Joe definitely would love one with a cab, but as of right now, we're rocking it open station. It's not all bad to rock it open station. Anyways, we'll go put this in the shed, shut the doors, and probably just take a couple shovelfuls and put it in that red feeder for them. All right. Yeah, so that's feed made. Check on Jerry here. He needs some water. Froze up a little bit on him. He's got hay and grain. Now, that's Jerry 2.0. So, I think we got a water pail here. Take that over to the barn. Get him some water. And he's likely good for the day. So, yeah, that ramp's a bit of a, there wasn't a lot of critical, or I think outside the box thinking when we built that ramp. In the summertime it's fine, but you get snow like that and you get that mixer right full. It doesn't actually go through the snow all that great. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. And then, yeah, we gotta make sure we lock this before we try and put this down. Or it just creeps up. And the other one, garage opener still works on it. So we'll just go grab, I don't know, a few big forkfuls of feed. About two forkfuls is about what they eat in a day, so. A couple more. There we go. These three got some now. Everybody's up eating. Looks like all the kids have settled in for their mid-morning nap. Let's go see what Joe's doing. And we'll maybe get that hay out to the calves. I get most of it with the skid steer, and then I just take a fork and get the balance. That little mini skid steer that we got works great at not having the shovel, but this keeps me in shape, and only takes a little bit. It's just a few little spots that we have to fork around the water trough. And in all honesty, I'd rather fork around the water trough because that little skid steer doesn't crowd the bucket as nice, and you end up getting manure and stuff in the water trough, which then you got to clean out anyways. So just back it up. So we only end up forking a little bit, not the end of the world. All right, there are the calves bedded. Fresh sheets. It's pretty well lunchtime. I was gonna grab lunch and then we'll clean the other side out, and then we'll do the fat cattle. But there's that oat straw. We got a bale chopper / spreader. That oat straw is tough to deal with, but we'll make do with it. We got lots of wheat planted last fall, so we'll likely bale and use wheat straw because wheat straw is a lot easier to deal with than this oat straw. But anyways, better than nothing. I'm gonna go grab some lunch and then I'll touch base with you guys in a little bit. All right, gotta let these guys out. Probably won't take much to get them outside. Now they'll mess around out there while we clean them out. Likely get Joe to do that. I got to needle that little goat. I forgot to do that before I let him out. So we'll go do that. right, Joe's been working away there. I got some footage there. Getting some high octane fertilizer, or manure as it's more commonly known. I treated that little goat, and then what I also did today is I started up their creep feed. What is creep feed, you ask? Well, creep feed is a little higher protein grain mix right here. So we just do pellets, and this one has, so I just put a few scoops in there. And as you can see, you know, the kids are getting older. They're starting to try forages and stuff like that. And so what helps is these kids are growing really fast. The mums are producing a lot of milk, but this is going to also help increase their wean weights and not put so much strain on the moms to produce. So increase our weaning weights a little bit, and then also too, once they're on the creep really well, well then they'll do a lot better once they get weaned off their mom. So that's why we do it. It's more for making sure the does don't lose too much condition with these kids growing fast. So ideally, the quicker you can get them off the doe and to market, the best. These will, since they're mostly doelings, they're going to go to market a little slower than bucks, as they don't grow near as fast. But it's is what it is. I wish we had, you know, 2 doelings and 9 bucks, but anyways, we'll manage. It's good to have lots of doelings or replacements to choose from. That way you can choose the best versus keeping what you got. So anyways, we'll get back to cleaning the cattle out. It's pretty simple here. It's pretty much a one-man show cleaning this barn out. We do pretty much everything with the skid steer. I'll check back in with you guys when we start bedding them up with straw. Let's see how strong I am. Knots for the bale are on the bottom. There we go. Might grab a few forkfuls or a few flakes off of this bale because it's dry for the goats. Or see anyways how dry it is. Probably because it was a bottom bale. I got little squares of straw. I'll just get them for the goats. All right, we should chase the big goofs in now. Grab my cane. And we'll get them coming in. It's not hard to get them to come in. This guy here, he got a sore foot when the barn come down. Well, I'll say that pretty well does it for this video, guys. We got them all cleaned up and ready for the cold front coming next week. Everything's fed, bedded up. I'm gonna go get my little square bales of straw for the goats. And yeah, don't know what we'll get up to tomorrow. I think we might vaccinate and dehorn tomorrow, or we might do that later this afternoon, but I'll put that in a separate video. So, because this one's probably getting lots long anyways. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, keep her between the ditches.